Under no circumstances would Jewish people now entrust their lives under a Nazi regime, given the horrific history of the Jewish Holocaust. That shared history between the Jews and the Nazis resulted in Jews never entrusting their lives to Nazis. However, to the contrary, although the African Holocaust lasted hundreds of years longer and resulted in millions of more deaths than that of the Jewish Holocaust, many Black people reveres our oppressors in spite of that brutally horrific history. Millions of Black people also now blindly accept all information that we receive from the white society as being true, in spite of their history of deceit. Throughout history, the oppressors have demonstrated an entrenched predisposition for deceit that matches their proclivity for racism. They've always told us lies. The oppressors have in fact told so many lies throughout history that falsely favors themselves that the term whitewashed was created based upon their racial group's proclivity for telling lies. Yet in spite of the notorious deceitful history to the contrary, millions of Black people now blindly accept all information that we receive that comes exclusively from white sources. We revere it as being the absolute truth. These profound contradictions clearly demonstrates that millions of Black people are not perceiving the white society based upon an accurate interpretation of the true histories shared between all two racial groups. The reason for this profound contradiction is not some strange phenomenon. It's by deliberate design. It's always by deliberate design whenever the oppressed starts thinking exactly as their oppressors wants them to think. And it has absolutely nothing to do with a silly slave syndrome myth. That silly slave syndrome myth presents what would in fact be the least effective and least plausible method used for controlling generations of millions of people. It's simply not how true brainwashing is achieved. We must gain a clear, concise, and accurate understanding of our plight, condition, and situation in order to liberate ourselves. Because if our understandings of our plight, condition, and situation are flawed, then all of our liberating strategies and remedies that stem from those misunderstandings will also be flawed. This is why those of us who know the truth must teach African proverb.